the Real Estate U podcast with Lettiann.
Welcome back to Real Estate U with Lettiann. And today I have on Burton Kelso with Integral. And we say you are tech solution extraordinaire in the city here in Kansas City. So you are also on every news channel. Now you're back on every news channel. So right at the stay-at-home order, were you just like walking around your house so itchy because you weren't on in front of a camera, or what was going on?
Oh, haven't stopped being on TV. It's just been nonstop. So
even the stay-at-home order during that time?
Heck yeah.
You found a way.
Yeah, it's either Zoom or Skype is how,
of course,
that has happened. Now, I will say quickly, I did go to one station down in Springfield, but I was in and out and masked up. So,
well, it's always good to see you. Hardly a day doesn't go by that I don't see you, whether it's in the morning when I'm getting ready for work. Not that you're there, but you're in a studio somewhere. So, but anyhow, we're so glad to have you back, Burton. You've helped us with so many things with regard to our tech, not only at my house, but also here in our office. And we just thank you and your staff. You're always there. You're always prompt, and you know what to do to solve the problem. So thank you for that.
Thanks for letting us take care of your technology, Lettiann.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what are you seeing trending right now, Burton? I know you're all over the city and then some. I mean, you're going into other states as well. But now that people are shifting from being in their office, maybe with their laptop or their PC in their office, a lot of these folks are working from home now. Are you making more home, what do they call that when the doctor visit, are you making more home visits, or are you still seeing a lot of office visits for tech concerns and issues and startups or shutdowns?
Well, before the pandemic hit, it was more 70-30 as far as 70% being on-site visits and 30% being remote tech support visits. But now it's kind of evened out to 50-50. We've got customers who still need to be in their office and do work, but at the same time, we have businesses that need to work virtual. So we've been able to help them out virtually, or sometimes we do have to go on site to make sure that they can work virtually. So that's kind of the trend right now as far as the whole tech support sector is concerned.
Let's backtrack a little bit. Tell everyone who's watching and listening what you do and how you help the consumer.
So I'm the chief tech expert at Integral. And so our team, like the folks at Geek Squad, go on site or can remote into computers for homes and businesses to make sure that they don't have any technology issues.
What's your biggest call when that's the wrong way to ask you. When your office gets a call, what are you seeing the most that needs remedied? Is there like an arena of issues that trump other issues? No pun intended with the word there. You know what I mean? Like, so many people call because their internet's out, or so many people call because they're having issues with, I don't know what.
You nailed it. Internet is the big issue now, especially in the pandemic. So we've had people call because they've had spotty Wi-Fi in their home or in their business. They're having issues because they've moved out to a rural area and they want to find out if there is a viable internet provider that can help them with getting online. But internet is huge. And we've even had struggles with people who are having issues with their current internet provider, but their internet provider won't give them any direction as far as what to do to solve the problem.
And that's happened with us as well. So a lot of what you just said even happens in our business because people are moving out of subdivisions and maybe to more rural locations, but they're working from home and they need a certain strength on their Wi-Fi in order to make all of their calls, and they're calling internationally. And that's a challenge because she's like, I don't even want to see the property unless I can get this, this amount of strength, or it can support my business.
I get it. But what's so funny, Lettiann, is that we always run into people after they've moved to the property and discovered that there's no viable internet solution out there. Now, obviously, there are people who live in rural areas who really don't need internet, or they're just using their mobile hotspot or their phone. But there are people that just, that doesn't even come to mind. So I think that's funny you mentioned that.
Well, she in particular, she didn't want to move and have a problem that then would inevitably result in a hiccup in her business. So I thought that was
Right.
pretty savvy. And now I'm asking other people that are moving rurally, how important is your are your Wi-Fi needs? Let's be sure that that's intact. So let's say someone moves and you say you're getting the latter. People are moving first and then going, oh my dear, we need more strength. And all of that. What are some solutions are there solutions?
In many instances, no, there are no solutions. Now, particular areas have local internet providers that will set a Wi-Fi signal on top of the county's water tower or the town's water tower and beam internet to the homes in that county. But other than that, there's really no solutions because the larger big tech internet companies are just not in a hurry to provide internet. Some of them are waiting on government grants. Others just don't want to take the risk of spending the money that's required in order to run fiber in those rural areas.
So if people are working from home, is their best option, and this is for me, so I can tell people as well, secure a hotspot, or would it be maybe go to your local coffee shop if it's open, but working there every day wouldn't be good? And what about the children who need Wi-Fi for school?
Yeah, it's a really tough situation, Lettiann. I mean, all this stuff that you just said it will be viable solutions, but the problem is how long is your local coffee shop going to stay open? Because many of them are closing early, especially the mom and pop ones. And also with the mobile hotspot, data is pretty expensive as far as a plan is concerned. And then also, is your mobile data going to even reach your property if you're in a rural area? Because there are some carriers where you just can't get service at all.
Has this devastated anyone? Because you said you get the call after they move. So what do they do? What's
There's
your
nothing
advice
that
to
they
them?
can really do. They can look at us and say, well, you guys don't really know what you're doing. And it's like, well, I'm sorry, we can't control telecom. I mean, it's not like we can run fiber to an area. That all depends on the internet provider. Now, some people need to make sure that they're checking to make sure that it's not a Wi-Fi issue versus an internet issue, because there's a difference between the two. You've got spotty Wi-Fi, you just need to boost the Wi-Fi in that dead zone in your home. But if your internet's bad, then obviously you need to see if you can switch providers or, use a Wi-Fi hotspot.
And I love what you said, because it's best to call Integral if you're having some concerns, or if you've moved rurally or noticed a change in your internet service, because it could be as simple as adding what do you call it, an adapter or an extender? What is that thing? What is it called, Burton?
Well, there's two terms. You can get set up in your home what's called a mesh network, which basically a series of repeaters that will get Wi-Fi into those weak areas of your home. You can also get a Wi-Fi extender, which will allow you to extend Wi-Fi into those poor areas as well.
So,
Because I think the myth with routers, like if you go out and buy a router from the store or from your internet provider, those only cover about a 2,500 square foot area of a home. So if your home's at 2,500 square feet, you should have a good signal. But anything above and beyond that, you're going to have to find ways to get Wi-Fi in those weak areas.
so here, this will throw you for a loop, maybe. So let's say it's a 2-level home, whether it's a 2-story or what have you. Both are 2,500 square feet. Would you put a router on, if that's the right word, on both levels, or is the house split this way? It's on this side of the house and this side. If anyone can see me, half the house, half the house. What would you do?
Yeah. Here, hold on. I've got a picture of a house. Is
That's
this
a
what you're
beautiful
talking about?
home, Burton. That's just a gorgeous house. What's in that really awesome book?
Full of awesome recipes, including Lettiann's chili.
Yes, and it's a good day for Lettiann's chili today.
Right, exactly. So, but you're talking about a home like kind of like this, right? What we're looking at?
Yes, let's say that. So you have the main level. You come home, you smell the chili. You're glad someone already started it,
Right.
and then so do you split the router for service on? You know what I'm saying? On like the
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
The main thing as far as a home, especially if you've got a multi-level home, is that your router needs to be on the main level. So if you've got it in the basement or in the attic, it's going to cause issues. So it always, if possible, needs to be on the central floor, centrally located. But if you can't do that because of the way your internet provider is set up, then you have to go the course that you mentioned, whereas that you have a repeater or router upstairs and then maybe one in the basement as well.
So let's talk video. And you're a public figure. The last time you were on our show, or maybe here in our office, you were in some rural town somewhere, and I think you were in a parking lot, and some young man in the car next to you goes, "Dad, look, it's that guy on the news all the time, or on TV all the time." So, I mean, you're a public figure here, Burton. How?
No, I don't know about that.
Well, there's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't see you. So I love that smile. It reminds me to smile all the time. So thank you for always smiling.
Oh, no problem.
But how has being on TV almost daily, and I mean, all you want to do is help others. It shows, the moment anyone meets you, you're just willing to help in any way, and that's a part of the reason that I love what I love about you. But with all this publicity and all these videos and being on these podcasts and helping so many people in different arenas, whether it's the real estate business or the TV stations or the rural consumer, how has all of this exposure affected your business?
Well, it's obviously done well. I mean, part of the challenge is that when you're on TV in the face of the business, and people always assume that you're going to be the person that comes out, and that doesn't always happen. So it kind of hurts that way, because as a business, you definitely want to brand the business, unless it's like you being the brand of your business, and it's not an issue. So, part of it's wearing the shirts with the logo on it. But the other thing is to make sure that you're sharing on your company's social media as far as that you are on TV, to kind of help tie in your face with the brand of the company.
That makes sense if they think you're going to show up. So I'm going to show my shirt, branded logo, right? So I know So now everything I wear has got my name on it, Burton, thanks to you.
Yeah, but you're the face of the business too, Lettiann. So Lettiann and Associates. So
I try to show up when they think it's me showing up, and not be late for sure.
Right.
What are some trending things that the consumer needs to be aware about now? I mean, these are awkward times, and when this episode airs, it'll be 2021. But what's happening? What are you getting calls for the most? Besides, you said internet service, of course.
Cybersecurity is always huge, Lettiann. There's all sorts of threats, especially COVID related, that people have to deal with. You've got ransomware, which can lock up your files. You've got credential stuffing, which takes all of that data that was stolen in those large-scale data breaches, and it enables hackers to use your old credentials to log into your online accounts. You've got malware, which usually appears in the form of that alert that pops up on your computer, where it's saying that it sounds like the robot from Lost in Space, where it's telling you danger, danger, and that your files are in trouble or your internet's in trouble. So, and of course, you've got all sorts of phishing scams that are going on that are COVID related too. So cybersecurity is such a large industry that it's really not going to go away. So people should always be cognizant of what threats are out there and make sure that they have the protection to keep themselves and their businesses safe.
Do you mean like all the superheroes behind you?
Something like that.
It's like you got everyone there, including Woody and Burton.
Yes.
We got you. So all the things you said, phishing, malware, all of that, is a lot of foreign terms. We all humans, normal humans, don't know what all. Now you superhumans. Now I know you guys know what that means, but
Yeah, I think they do. Yes.
so two questions in the last few minutes that we have. One of which, what are some COVID scams? Because that's the first thing you said, and then secondly, what can someone do, the average consumer, the average human at home, so they can be proactive with all of those words we don't understand that you just said?
Yeah, two of the major ones that are going around are the Bitcoin scams that are, I know it doesn't sound COVID related, but people are looking for new ways to make money. So there's a ton of Bitcoin scams where people are wanting you to invest in Bitcoin. They get your information, obviously, and then they use it to either use your credit card or just other nefarious stuff. And then the other ones are the work at home scams. You may get an email saying, hey, do you want a good job opportunity to work from home, make some quick cash? Again, you're giving out your information to criminals, and then they take that information and, just do bad things with it.
If it sounds too good to be true, it likely is too good to be true. Is that kind of maybe honor your intuition when you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just got this email today. I was hoping that something like this would happen. And then it's right.
Right. It's exactly right. And so the major tip that I can give people when it comes to cybercrime is that to understand that 99% of cybercrime requires user interaction. So people are scared when their Facebook account gets duplicated, or maybe they just get some unknown email. Well, you can get the email and your Facebook accounts can be duplicated. But it's important to know that if you don't click on those items, like on those emails or texts, or respond to those phone calls, then you're not going to get hacked. All the large companies you hear about getting hacked, it's because one employee clicked on something that they shouldn't have clicked on. So the main thing is understand what threats are out there. And then as long as you don't click on it, then you're going to be safe.
And don't be in, and I'm not the tech expert, but what I've learned is don't be in such a hurry to click on the email you've received. And I don't mean opening it, that's different. But if there's a link, but you see in the sender, oh, that's First American Title. Okay, oh, they want me to check on the funds that are for a transaction, when really, if you took the time to actually read the sender, there's some kind of awkward thing in there, like a period or a slash that's really not from that sender that you thought it was, that you deal with like on a daily basis. So it's almost like take a deep breath. Is this really from that person? I'm more of a skeptic anyway in daily life. So I tend to have to believe that it's that person. But isn't that true that they'll change sender email addresses to make you think it's from me? It could be Lettiann with a dot after the I, ANN, and you think, oh, that's from Lettiann, but you didn't really see that dot.
Right, that's exactly right. Now, computers, that stuff has to be disguised, but you have to remember too that with smartphones, people are now getting malicious text wanting them to click on a link. So with the text, it's easier to identify because it has to come from a phone number. So if it's a number you don't recognize, then you just simply don't click on it. So, I mean, you're absolutely right. Pay attention to where it's coming from. And then once you verify it's from a credible source, then you can click on it or just call the source directly to find out if they even sent it.
And then the recent one, and maybe this is passed by now, but they were sending text, hi, this is Amazon. We have a package that was unable to be delivered. Click here so you can find out where to pick up your package. Well, thank God my husband didn't click on it. I'm like, dude, did you not see Burton tell you not to click on those texts? Because they're coming in texts. And who doesn't trust Amazon?
Right. Exactly. I mean, who doesn't? I don't trust Amazon.
I don't trust anyone. So
that's
Burton,
a good one. I don't trust anyone.
Well, I'm from that generation. I forget what generation it is, but but neither here nor there. Burton, we are out of time, but we're so grateful to have you on the show, and thank you for providing all of us with and keeping us at the forefront of our mind to be cautious in what you're doing, be cautious who you're conversing with, be careful what you're clicking on. And if you have any questions or need anything, please call Integral. So thank you, Burton.
Thank you, Lettiann.
Yeah, hope to see you again soon. And thank you for watching this episode of Real Estate U with Lettiann. We look forward to seeing you next time.